This is Michelle Lujan Grisham. She is the governor for the state of New Mexico, and she wins the Tyrannical Idiocy Award for the week. Here's what she said.
Oh,
yeah.
You took
what your point is about.
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carry license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute. There are restrictions on free speech. There are restrictions on my freedoms. In this emergency, this 11-year-old and all these parents
shall not be infringed. Does that ring a bell, Michelle? Does that ring a bell, Michelle? Shall not be infringed. Shall not be restricted. An unrestricted right in the Second Amendment. Unrestricted rights in the First Amendment. Unrestricted rights in the Fourth Amendment.
who have lost all these children, they deserve my attention to have the debate about whether or not in an emergency we can create a safer environment. Because what about their constitutional rights? I took an oath to uphold those too. And if we ignore this growing problem without being bold,
the rights of one man do not conflict with the rights of another man. If you can rightly and legitimately take away rights because of an emergency, then the government will always create emergencies to take away more rights.
I've said to every other New Mexican, your rights are subrogated to theirs. And they are not, in my view.
Wait a minute. You're saying about crimes. There are already laws against the crimes, so how are their rights?
But again, if I'm unsafe, who's standing up for that one? If this climate is so out of control, somebody should do something.
If I'm unsafe, somebody should do something. So if I feel unsafe, I need to make sure that you're unsafe because I need to take away your guns. And how does a government official take away your guns? They use a government gun to take away your guns. How is that enforced? It's enforced with government-sanctioned, government-funded gun violence. So if I feel unsafe, then we're going to have to use the government-sanctioned gun violence to take away your guns so that you can be unsafe. Makes a whole lot of sense there.
I'm doing as much as I know to do.
Do you really think that criminals are going to hear this message and not carry a gun in Albuquerque on the streets for 30 days?
No. But here's what I do think. It's a pretty resounding message.
And that's where the video ends. So the guy asked, do you think criminals are going to listen to what you have to say? And you think criminals are going to disarm? And she admits, nope, the criminals aren't going to disarm. The criminals aren't going to listen to this message. They're not going to obey. So you know what that means? She knows that the only people who will disarm are the people who are apt to be law abiders. So the law abiders will make themselves unsafe because they don't want this. I think it's a $5,000 fine. Let's see. The violators could face civil penalties and a fine of up to $5,000. So if we catch you law abiders without a gun or with a gun, we're going to charge you $5,000. Of course, the criminals are not going to obey, and they're going to be armed. They're going to be empowered. So what this lady's doing, what Michelle Lujan Grisham, the governor of New Mexico, is doing, is making people unsafe by taking away their rights. And we're talking about innocent people. We're not talking about people who have committed crimes here. And apparently she's not a friend of Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin said, if you give away a little essential liberty to procure politically promised security, and that's what she's promising. She's promising safety for everybody. And we got to do this because people are extremely unsafe because there's all this gun violence going on. People who give up essential liberty for politically promised security, which, by the way, never comes, deserve neither liberty nor security. So that's the Tyrannical Idiocy Award awarded to the New Mexican governor, Michelle Grisham, who wants to disarm the law-abiding and make sure that the criminals, who she says won't obey her, are empowered while you're disempowered. Makes a whole lot of sense. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, the links are in the description. Grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design. You can put on a short-hitting mug, whatever. Remember, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. I will see you in the next video.